So just landed in Arizona. Just had a 14-hour flight from Minnesota, and now I'm here. Going to be working on my new to me daily. This is a 79 Chevy Caprice. So if you don't know, I'm going to be moving to the West Coast in the next month, and I need a daily driver to drive when I get down here. My brother has been gracious enough to let me borrow his 79 Caprice two-door classic for my stay. But there's a catch. I need to fix all the things that is wrong with the car, that he says is wrong with the car. And luckily, there's not a lot. I need to fix the steering wheel, coolant reservoir, I need to replace that, thermostat, tune-up, I need to change the tires, and I also need to bleed the brakes. Is that it?
That's the majority of it, yeah.
And the things that I want to get done is I need a new radio, preferably with Bluetooth, and maybe some speakers. Because I don't know how good these speakers are. He's telling me that they're not. Oh, what the hell?
What the hell? Hey.
Like, cool, we just had a dog show.
You belong to somebody, man. Let's go find your owner, bud.
So yeah, radio and speakers. First thing is gonna make sure that all this stuff is running. But for right now, for my stay, because I'm only here for a few days, I'm only gonna focus on getting the brakes bled, the tune-up, the coolant, and steering wheel. Everything else I'm gonna end up doing when I get back. So first up is going to be the steering wheel. Now my brother said that the steering wheel is sketchy. I don't know what that means. Oh, okay. I know what he means now. It's sketchy. I'm guessing that the nut for the hub is loose. Needs to get tightened. So I'm gonna undo these screws and see if that nut is loose. If it's loose, then this is gonna be a lot easier to do. If not, I might have to get like a steering wheel puller and take it off. But this needs to be done first before I can even remotely just drive this car.
Let's go make our rounds real quick. Mission one done.
Okay, let me finish. Okay, so I took the steering wheel off. My brother thought it was something much more deeper than just the hub. Turns out the nut's just loose. That's what's causing it to move around. I've done this before. Luckily, he's not the one that installed this, because he would have done this, right? But just gotta get a socket and a breaker bar and just tighten this up so we can fix this. And this will be like the first thing done on the car. Actually, it might be the only thing done on the car for today.
The only thing done on the car.
Yeah. So, a little fun fact about my knowledge of cars and building. My brother, who's letting me borrow his Caprice, he's the one that taught me how to work on cars. And I'm pretty sure he knows how to fix this car. He knows what to do. But he just doesn't want to do it. So he's gonna let me do it. He's gonna have me fix the car up. We just kind of got into a mini argument because he doesn't know the size of the nut for the steering wheel. But we're gonna figure that out. We're gonna grab a bunch of sockets and see which one works. Whichever one does work, we will return the other ones back. But we definitely need that socket and a breaker bar. Now I'm back. Got tool set. Hopefully I have the socket that I need to get this thing tightened up. If not, we have to come back tomorrow. So nut is secured and it is fast and tight. No movement at all. Just have to put the steering wheel back on. And then that will be it for the day. I got here like a few hours ago off a 14-hour flight. I'm already tired. I'm going to finish up everything else tomorrow and possibly pick up some more tools just in case I might need it. I don't think I will, but you never know. So after fixing the steering wheel the other day, my brother and I decided to go on a little test trip with the car, and when we stopped driving it for like 10 minutes, the car wouldn't start back up. So we ended up had to walk home. Luckily it wasn't that far from where we was at, where the car died. Later that day, we came back and jump started it. At O'Reilly's, trying to see if the non-start issue is a battery problem or the alternator problem. Now we recharged the battery here, but we just need to double check to see if it's the alternator that's killing the battery, or it's just that my brother just doesn't drive his car. It could be the problem too. So it's not the battery and it's not the alternator. So I'm assuming that the battery is too small for the car, and since my brother doesn't drive the car as much, it's probably just the battery and just not being driven, so the battery dies. So I think when I come back next time, I'm going to get a bigger battery for this car, and then that problem should go away. Now I got all that stuff figured out. I got some tools that I may need for some work. Right now I'm just gonna get some food because I'm hungry and it's like I haven't eaten nothing yet. If I go get some food. A few hours passed after I got done eating and taking a look at the radio. My brother said that the previous owner wired this radio up correctly with a patch harness and basically used the existing harness and made a patch harness for the radio. You got the original harness going to the car originally, and then there's a patch harness that has like a flying lead on one side and that connects to the radio harness. Yeah, that is not the case. This is somebody's job wiring to the radio. So I either might buy a flying lead harness and just redo this entire thing, and then when I get a new radio, obviously it's going to come with the harness for it, and I'll just connect those two together. Or I might just do what he did. I don't like doing that because it makes it harder for the next time, either if I want to replace the harness or somebody else want to replace the harness and the radio, it makes it harder for them. So I might just do it the first try. But one of the things that my brother wants me to do too is replace these old crusty tires all the way around. He said that they are all mismatching tires, and he's been hooning around with this car for quite a bit. so it is natural for some wear and tear to be happening on the tires. You can see there's some tire marks back there, some tar. He's just been having a lot of fun with this. And I still have to bleed the brakes. I think one of the brakes in the rear has to be bled. That's the main one. But other than that, besides the tires, the brakes, the tune-up, and the AC blower motor, plus some other few things, that's all that has to be done. I'm not gonna do all that stuff this week. I'm actually gonna do it when I come back down for the car, but I'm gonna give you guys a quick little tour of the car while I'm still here. Start off, let's pop the hood. Now I am not a GM American car guy. This is a small block 350, carbureted, so it starts almost every time, all the time, unless it's not sitting. If it's sitting for quite some time, I have to pump the gas. I had to do it this morning, but it starts up just on the first click of the key. It's no problem. But as you can see, this is a huge engine bay. This is like bigger than my S2000 engine bay with a lot more room to work with. In terms of doing like the spark plugs and the tune-up, I don't know if you can see the wires down there. I'm pulling on two wires right there. That's kind of where the spark plugs lie. And that shouldn't be too hard, at least for this side. I know I have to probably take off the intake, get to the spark plugs. And then this coolant reservoir is shaking, might replace it, or I might just hot glue the tabs back together and make it work. I don't think this is leaking, so I might not even think about replacing it. Battery definitely needs to be replaced because this is not the right size for it. A simple engine with a whole bunch of vacuum lines that I'm not even gonna begin to know where that stuff goes to. And we got the front. It's a pretty damn clean car. It's been used and abused. It runs and drives. One thing I noticed, actually I'm gonna get to the interior first, is that you got bed seats, right? You got couch seats, my bad. Couch seats, bed seats. It's pretty much just one whole seat for the front and then one whole seat for the rear. They both fold down. You can store a lot more things in here than my S2000 ever could. But I might not even be using the back seats like that. I might put my backpack back here, but pretty much that's gonna be it. Another thing I gotta do, install a lock cylinder for this glove box because this does not work. Was asking about the interior. He said keep it the way it is. He does have some interior pieces that I might put in, but one thing he just mentioned, just don't bother with the interior, just let it be. Another thing that I noticed is that you really have to be really kind of hard with closing everything, especially with the door. You can't be soft with it because it's going to be moving on you. You gotta close it. That's something I do not do with none of my JDM cars. The trunk has so much space to the point where I'm actually gonna be clearing a lot of this stuff up. Definitely gonna need a new tire. This is one of the tires that my brother was hooning in some time ago, but definitely gonna be cleaning this up. Might only keep like a small toolbox and a jack. Everything else is gonna get cleaned up when I want to take possession of it. Not putting any sub. I'm gonna stick with the stock speakers that are in here. I might wash it too. I'm gonna give it like one try to try to take off the tar marks, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'm gonna let it be. He just wants me to drive it, just take care of it, maintain it, just keep it going. So my plan is to keep this car for at least a year. After a year, I'm gonna end up finding another car that I want. I don't know what I want yet. This is kind of what I was looking for when I was going to move. I wanted something that was a two-door, that was American made, and it was rear-wheel drive. I actually wanted a Corvette, like a C3 Corvette, but changed my mind because I didn't want to put too much money into a car, especially when I am moving. But like I said, this is a two-door rear-wheel drive Chevy, and yep, with a built posi. It does have a built posi, so this thing gets really squirrely in the back. When I took it out, it got kind of squirrely on me, and this doesn't even make a lot of power too. So it's a pretty fun car. It's a pretty reliable car too, and we're in Arizona. So when I come back down, I'm gonna have to fix all the problems that is wrong with it. It's not a lot of work that has to be done. To probably knock out in a few hours when I get down here. This car is gonna make it from Arizona to Nevada, and then I'm also gonna be driving it for a whole year until I get the car that I actually want. So me personally, I think that every great project car deserves a reliable daily driver. And I think that getting a Chevy, especially something like this, is cheap to fix, easy to work on, and to be honest, it's quite a looker too. I'm not a big American driver. I don't do American cars, but this car is fun as hell to drive. So that's it for the video. I'll see you guys in the next one.